Hey guys, we're back. ThirdStreet Reactions. I'm Shane.
Zach.
We're back with Star Wars Rebels Season 2, Episode 1. Ahsoka revealed herself as Fulcrum.
Yes, at the end of the season, they rescued Kanan. He had the confrontation with the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Which, what's his name? The boy.
Oh, Ezra.
Ezra. Yeah, I want to say Elijah. And I'm like, no, that's Moby Dick.
Yeah.
No, but, yeah, Ezra, at the beginning of the fight, was helping him, but then he was taken out of the fight.
Yeah.
Kanan thought he was gone, so he didn't have the distraction anymore. He ended up beating the Grand Inquisitor.
And it wasn't like a dark side thing.
No.
It was like, I'm submitting fully now without worrying about someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
His focus was singular. He defeats the Grand Inquisitor. The Grand Inquisitor gives up his own life, even though he was still hanging on by a thread.
Because he doesn't want to face...
worse than death.
Yeah.
He didn't want to face Vader. We
It's
find out at the end of the season because he just lets himself fall into the reactor or whatever that was.
It's weird in the Empire, and we know this from Andor. We know this from many other things, actually. Like, the Grand Inquisitor is in charge of, like, everything Sith-related that Vader's not in charge of. I guess not Sith-related. He's in charge of all the other Inquisitors. He's in charge of all these other operations. And you figured he might have some standing to have wiggle room? No, it's not how it works.
Well, see, that's what's unfortunate about that system. If you have, even if they're good personnel, they're going to help the machine move forward. They are just sacrificed.
Yeah.
You know, the cogs in the wheel. And
they think they can just replace it. It's not how it works.
No, it's not. Because good personnel can be hard to find. Like, you're not going to find another Tarkin. You're not going to find
develop those people through time.
Yeah, and you're not going to find another Thrawn. You're not going to find another, you know, I mean, Vader doesn't really count. I feel like, you know, Vader and Palpatine being at the top, they're the ones that feel like all these other people were expendable.
Yeah, even Palpatine thinks, I mean, he goes through periods where he thinks, well, maybe I can replace Vader. You know what I mean?
So, but you realize that after the fact, I mean, our advantage is we can look at the history books. This is a story.
Yeah.
But you look back, it's like there are people that were just indispensable.
Yeah.
And so either way, Vader and Ahsoka are both revealed at the end of the season.
So I know you
major players.
Yeah, you've obviously seen Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And you know Thrawn's in it and stuff like that. You knew she was alive. Did you know she was coming up in this show?
No, I've seen clips of her, but I don't know enough to associate which show any of these clips are from.
Yeah.
I just see clips of shit bouncing around.
Yeah.
So
okay,
it'll be to my advantage for reactions because I'm slowly disconnecting from social media.
Yeah.
So hopefully that means that I just won't have any knowledge of this shit anymore.
I don't allow myself to get spoiled on social media. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, it shit just bounces around everywhere, and it just because it has suggested reels, and you'll just see things.
Yeah.
Even for a glimpse.
Yeah. Guys, our tablecloth's getting washed, so it's a special occasion. Season 2, Episode 1. I wanted to have a clean slate. If you want to support us, you can go to our Patreon to see 4-week early access and full length. Let's jump in.
Making for the freighter. Keep the ties off our back.
Split formation, Phoenix 2. We'll cut across their axis.
Kinda nice having Phoenix Squadron watching our backs.
We always did all right on our own.
True, but I prefer life with our new fleet, flying solo. Firing now!
Need a little help.
You're a bastard.
Covers
I
Phoenix
want to say.
I can't shake him!
But like space, there's like it looks so much not bland as that. Even from Earth's point of view, like places with low light pollution, it's absolutely stunning.
It's like a nebula.
It's not just like black and white shit. Yeah.
I agree.
So
Almost in range.
I think that would confuse a lot of the color patterns with the laser bolts.
yeah, it would, and yeah.
Gotcha.
Goes to Phoenix Squadron. Mission
They have that technology in Clone Wars. Remember, they use it when they're on the ship. Anakin leads them out there.
But there is nothing to be found. What more does Governor Tarkin expect?
That hat.
He expects Lothal to be punished, Minister Tua.
His own Star Destroyer was demolished by these rebels.
I honestly don't know what else to do.
Perhaps that is the problem. You lack imagination, Minister.
When it comes to producing results.
If the rebels have left, then we must draw them back. And if they are here, we must draw them out.
We will squeeze Lothal.
I have have no experience with such brutal tactics.
You can explain that to Governor Tarkin when you visit him.
Not to worry, Minister. Lord Vader and I will manage in your absence.
Little shit.
I know.
What is the meaning of this?
Chop, cloak us with a one-way transmission.
Hey, it's old Joe. There's someone here desperate to speak with you. I told her I couldn't find you, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. She says...
Minister Tua?
Oh, we can't trust her. She's an Imperial.
Please, I beg you, listen to my request.
End transmission now, Chop.
Wait. I need you to give me safe passage off Lothal.
You're not really considering this.
Quiet!
I assure you my intentions are sincere. To prove it, I will trade secret Imperial information.
I can sense her fear.
Yeah, but of what?
So what have you got to trade? A list of rebel sympathizers on Lothal. I know you need allies. Get me off Lothal and I will give you the list.
It's obviously a trap.
There's something else. I've discovered the true reason the Empire came to Lothal.
We know that one. The Empire has a factory and they're stripping the planet's resources to...
And ordered by the Emperor himself.
We have to do this.
I agree.
So do I.
Weren't agreeing before.
Well, I guess we're on our way back to Lothal.
Fucking.
I guess we are.
Yeah, I remember being like, "Well, what the son of a bitch."
You can't just tell Chopper to project a hologram in a secret debriefing without authorization.
Authorization. Procedure. That's what's bothering me.
Alright.
Like Han and Leia right here a little bit.
When you and I started together, it was rob from the Empire, give to the needy. A noble cause. And now we're getting drawn into some kind of military thing. I don't like it. I survived one war. I'm not ready for another one.
I love when people speak with Clone Wars with such reverence.
To everyone.
So Minister Tua is scheduled to visit Governor Tarkin tomorrow. She leaves Lothal via shuttle at 1800. We wait at the hangar, steal the shuttle,
Why should we help her?
because that's what we do. Help those who can't help themselves.
Plus, her list will help us out.
Do you feel that? I feel so cold.
Alright, Zeb, Chopper, stay with the shuttle in case we need a quick exit.
Joe is leaving from Bay 23.
We'll need a distraction.
When Tua arrives, I'll keep him busy while you all drop into the hangar from above.
Make a few friends.
It'll be fun.
Fun?
Yeah.
Basic training? You look familiar.
Dude, the oldie to goodie. There.
But to swipe
Man's
that
got a
armor.
bucket head.
You gotta be fast.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Agent Callus.
Lord Vader asked me to make sure you reach your shuttle safely.
It's fucking ass.
So,
Minister, take cover!
Minister, take cover.
Surprise.
You gotta be a slick son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's some Han Solo reflexes dodging that.
Minister, get to the shuttle. We'll be right behind you.
right!
Was she on board?
Yep.
Minister Tua.
You did this!
Damn.
Zeb, we need a pickup now!
Copy.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I said, it steps up. I love him looking at something and walking away. He turned fast and then he walks.
He doesn't have to he doesn't have to say anything.
I know.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah. Hey, you're back, look! Well.
Did you fart?
No, I back cracked. That guy with the 70s haircut right there.
Oh, yeah. That's all you do. Just get rid of everything, just grow the mustache back with the long hair.
Now inform the populace. The rebel assassins hide in their midst. Any ship attempting to leave will be destroyed.
Right away.
A beloved citizen of Lothal, Minister Tua's life was cut short by this criminal band of rebels. You see them summoning...
They did this to turn Lothal against us. We can't do any more here. We have to leave.
We can't just run. The people have to know the truth.
Yeah. Alright. They got those episode 4 charges. And look, it's episode 4 effect. They're just like, let's just shoot this shit.
If they know about this hideout, they'll know about our others.
So,
There's no more
got
hiding.
another way to get
We
out.
need a ship.
Maybe we can try one of the local Imperial airfields.
The Empire's looking everywhere for us.
Not everywhere.
Maybe just don't be at the
The
Capitol.
Imperial complex? Are you crazy?
Does anyone ever say yes to that question?
There are landing platforms outside these hangars. They're our best chance if we're gonna find a shuttle.
I'm already dressed for the part.
No, you don't have to check inside.
Did you just try to give me an order?
You don't have to check inside.
I don't have to check inside.
Huh. Don't think it matters if you're noisy. There's nobody around. This is a good plan.
Of course it was a good plan. There's a shuttle. What'd I tell you?
You did good. Shield generators.
Military grade.
Zed, Ezra, grab all we can carry.
I love seeing like actual shield generators. Like, oh, okay.
That's available.
The cold.
That might be a fucking thumbnail right there.
So this aired as like a movie, but there's a part 1 and part 2. We're only doing one at a time. I really like the episode.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Everything
Really
with Minister Tua. Obviously, she legitimately wanted out.
She
And
did.
The Empire just used her
Yeah.
as bait and killed her purposefully to tarnish the name of these rebels. This rebel cell.
Kind of consistent with what Vader does,
Yeah.
with the hint of kind of we see like Imperial propaganda and reusing tragedies for their advantage, or creating tragedies for their advantage and stuff like that. Yeah, in this, in part 2, yeah, Vader's really cool. Like, he says one of those coolest lines ever, like ever, I think, to me.
Oh, the reason to mine Lothal.
Yeah.
So this is all going towards the Stardust project,
Well, it's
the Death Star. I mean, it's not really in keeping with. I don't know if this is because they were a little loose in terms of how they developed this information and how they, they streamlined it.
Yeah.
I'm reading, for instance,
Catalyst
right now, and they're talking about when a lot of these planets, they just go take them over.
Yeah.
And just strip mine them to the core, and then they just destabilizes the planet and destroys it and leaves it uninhabitable.
Yeah, no, so the idea that in the old EU and the current canon, they always did that, and it makes sense that they would need all those minerals. The Empire always did that because they got an Imperial fleet, they have the Death Star, and it takes a lot of resources, so I think you can say it for anything.
It applies to whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it's a little loose, but it makes sense. It doesn't contradict anything. So, but I think, obviously, we just watched Andor, and it kind of makes me think of that, they do that. You know what I mean? And
a lot of these planets in Catalyst, they're labeled as legacy planets with the Old Republic, so they can't. I mean, the Separatists had mining facilities on some of them, etc. But they were not to be disturbed. Essentially, they're kind of like national forests. So the Empire would stage events where they would smuggle in arms, and then lock these planets down and take them over under the pretense that these rebel arms were brought in, and unbeknownst to them, and they would have to come in and restore order. They would just take the planet over, strip it for all it's worth, and leave it, with nothing.
Pretty conniving thing to do.
It is. That was one of Krennic's ideas. So Krennic's a conniving little man. So
he is.
Dave Mendelsohn's a fantastic actor, but that character is conniving little shit.
Yeah. There's also, I mean, I feel a little bit of Han and Leia. Han obviously not wanting to get involved in the rebellion. Leia says, we need you. And I think they're playing off of that relationship a little bit between Kanan and Hera.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of wants to fight. He's like, dude, we were better on our own. We just kind of want to help people, and this is like a war, and I don't want to get involved in another war.
Yeah.
And, when he talks about the Clone Wars, it's just, every time you hear about it outside, it just feels cool.
When it's done right, there have been a few examples of things that were kind of questionable in terms of Star Wars development, but over time. But when it's done right, they've done a very good job of, say, for instance, Andor and everything building up to the development of the Death Star. Mm-hmm. They add so much more to the threat of the Death Star, because when you watch it in the original films, like, okay, this is a big fucking thing that blows up planets.
Yeah.
And you don't feel like any of the impending dread or doom or any of the intensity of what that means, really. I mean, you see it in the cinematic sense of, like, you got to stop this thing because it blows up planets.
Well, then in Rogue One, you see on the ground, and like, oh, it's beautiful up there in space.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that's rough.
Well, they've done a very good job, like Rogue One, Andor, and a lot of the accompanying media that is attached to that storyline and that development, of giving a better perspective on just how much went into the Death Star, how much that means in that world. And then it's a sense of world building. The Star Wars, I mean, it always has it on the surface level, because you have a surface level. There's a Rodian, there's a fucking Mon Cal, all these different aliens, but you don't really get a sense of how important anything is to them, other than these are fish people. And I
imagine that Death Star blowing up was just a huge blow.
It would have to be, but obviously they had to have had the second one in development.
Yeah, and already. The ODU there were like several.
Yeah,
like they're planning several, or there were several.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they couldn't just leave it with just one, because obviously it's
like,
if that one blows up, fuck.
Yeah, and the second one was way bigger.
It was substantially, but they obviously focused on the weapon first.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
Just
a weapon, one guy up there.
Just floating around. It's like the Zeus cannon.
Were you surprised that Minister Tua died dead?
I think it's good that she died.
Were you surprised?
I don't hate her. I wouldn't say that surprise came into my mind. It's more like I'm glad, because I'm glad these storytellers are willing to go that far.
Yeah.
To present a good story.
The first time I watched it, I was very surprised. I was like, oh, she was in all of season 1, and she was trying to flip, and it's a great way to bring Vader into it, though.
I agree. Yeah. And the severity of his involvement. And they're talking about the cold.
Yeah.
Being there when they arrived on Lothal.
Yeah.
And then they talk about it again right before Vader reveals himself at that industrial base.
Yeah, the association of Vader's presence in the Force to other Force users is cold. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Like an emptiness.
Yeah. So, it's pretty clear, at least in novels, that Anakin's presence in the Force to other Force users was like a furnace. Mm-hmm. Like this wild furnace.
Oh, I thought this was a very good episode. And obviously Vader elevates everything.
He does.
But not only Vader, but everything between Kanan and...
Hera.
Yeah, Syndulla. Hera Syndulla, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So... Yeah, everything between those two was great. Her role, I feel like, beyond being obviously pretty, but they've elevated her in a sense of like she's taking on responsibilities, versus him, where he's like, no, I want to still be, a free spirit, man.
I want to be the free spirit. I want to do what we were doing. We were fine.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. And Kanan, after like seeing like this order that's been here for thousands of years, get snuffed out, he's probably thinking like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing, like, they took us down. I'm not going to fight them. Now, it was just you guys.
Yeah.
Makes sense, yeah.
Well, he probably doesn't want to see his people be killed and wiped out. He doesn't want to see Hera die. He doesn't want to see Ezra die.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to see his team wiped out. He doesn't want to experience that loss again.
Yeah.
So he wants to keep the stakes low.
Mm-hmm.
So when you join this greater fight, they're going to tell you where to go. They're going to tell you what to do. They're going to tell you what your goals are.
Yeah.
So you're signing on to a much bigger picture.
Yeah.
So
you're right about that. Anyways, I think that's it, guys. If you want to support us and you don't want to wait until next week on YouTube, check us out on Patreon for early access. Leave a comment down below. Bye-bye.